We are honored to have with us today a very talented and distinguished leader in pharmacy and advocate for patient health. He is the Executive Vice President and Chief Executive Officer of the American Pharmacists Association, the nation's largest association for pharmacists. The organization has led the initiative to see pharmacists recognized as healthcare providers, especially by insurance companies. He has been involved with the APHA for more than 3 decades, first as an invited speaker, then as a senior staff member, then as a volunteer on the Board of Trustees, even serving a term as elected president from 2001 to 2002. In addition to his work with APHA, he is a pharmacy owner and a business entrepreneur. He founded several companies, including a medicine shop pharmacy in West Virginia and Syntegra Solutions Incorporated, a company that provided auditing, consulting, and health technology services based in Maryland. He also founded SimRx Incorporated, developed CornerDrugstore.com, and is currently a partner in the multi-state specialty pharmacy chain Associates Incorporated. Please join me in welcoming Tom Menighan.
Once somebody said to me in a situation like this, be brief, be brilliant, be gone. I can guarantee 2 of those. I'll do my best on the 3rd. Thank you to Dean Pollack, faculty, staff, graduates, ASP chapter advisor Jennifer Robinson, student leaders, family and friends for the privilege of being here today to share this moment with you. In preparation for today, I asked Nancy Alvarez, APHA's president, about the one thing new practitioners should consider. That's you, new practitioners. She said, connection. You heard that from Dean Pollack a minute ago. Your short time here has helped you make hundreds of important lifetime connections, but you've got to stay connected and be a lifelong learner. And that's my major message to you today. I'd like to think I'm a lifelong learner. I learned something about cookies recently. I checked out after my first night in APHA's new contract hotel, and I grabbed a cookie from a bowl at the counter and popped it in my mouth. As I chewed, the taste sank in. Hints of liver and grain brought the recognition that this was a dog-friendly hotel, and I was chewing on a dog biscuit. Not to look foolish, I finished it off. I admit it was a little dry and not very sweet, but the second one wasn't too bad. So this lifelong learner learned something that day. Soon you'll be starting your practice or residencies as you create options and build your careers. To make major advances, you'll need to take a few flying leaps. Let me explain. You know that when threatened, our bodies release adrenaline to prepare for fight or flight. I call a lesser-known mechanism the flying leap response. You didn't study it in physiology, but you have experienced it. That unexpected comment that changed your life. It may have been, have you ever thought about going to pharmacy school? This brief external validation gave you the confidence for a flying leap to a new job or career. We've all had these powerful moments. For me, one was when a colleague called me in April 2008, and I know right where I was standing, I'll never forget the moment. And he called to say, Tom, you need to take a look at the APHA CEO job that Dr. Gans was retiring from. That's the position I hold today. While I knew the job would be opening, I really hadn't taken it seriously until he called me. His challenge was the external validation that I needed to take a flying leap. We've all benefited from those moments. We can also cause them, and that's a message to you. We can cause them by acknowledging the strengths of our peers. External validation is just a powerful, powerful force for positive change. And you have the power to pay it forward with your connections. Today, you take a flying leap when you walk across this stage, but you're not alone. You have resources within your profession, like the New Practitioner Network and special interest groups, waiting for you. You'll find folks just like you on pharmacist.com who understand your new challenges and are ready to help. As new practitioners, you'll be faced with resistance to change, evolving standards, and a soft economy. You may experience misalignment between your goals and practice reality. Experience tells us that those who build connections and continue their lifelong learning will excel. So in preparation for today, I asked our new practitioner leaders for advice they would share based on their recent transition from where you are today to where they are in their practice. And here are some highlights. Remember why you chose to become a pharmacist. Find your passion and let that drive your career. Dream big, persevere, and have a vision for your life. Invest the time to bring about the change you want to see. Number 2, remember this day and how proud your faculty, family, friends are of you. Stay connected to them and they will help you fuel your passion for our profession. Number 3, put your patients first. Treat each patient with the same care and attention you would a family member. When you're having a bad day at work, and you'll have them, remember the good days to get you through. Number 4, practice at the top of your license every day. Keep an open mind, ask questions, seek new responsibilities. Lifelong learning will never let you stagnate in your day-to-day practice. Number 5, and they emphasized this was a biggie, take charge of your finances. Evaluate your needs, wants, and current debt. Make a management plan for your debt immediately and stick to it. Your plan will get you out of debt more quickly. And number 6, I can't emphasize this one enough, keep showing up. Continue to be involved through your professional organizations. Relationships in these groups and in your profession can mean a lot and make all the difference in the advancement in your career. The new practitioners who shared their wisdom each took recent flying leaps as part of the APHA leadership who can help you on your path as members. And each are finding their own answers through professional involvement. If I may, let me add my own advice. You can always find a job. Be fearless about taking flying leaps. Now, speaking of flying leaps, let me share a brief history of the flying leaps that led me to this stage today as a full-time CEO privileged to serve your National Professional Association. My chemistry asset in 5th grade led me to a small-town pharmacy in the mentorship of Jim Phillips. Then after 5 years of chain experience, we took a flying leap when my wife and I opened a medicine shop in Huntington, West Virginia. My wife's cancer taught me about home infusion, and together with 2 partners I met at local association meetings, we started an innovative home infusion practice. Today, 35 years later, that practice is going strong. Now, after a life of volunteerism and ventures, I'm investing my career as your advocate to secure your essential place on the healthcare team. We have a great story, but we have to tell it clearly. I tell my story about our work at APHA in 12 words. We promote consumer access and coverage for pharmacists' quality patient care services. Importantly for you, Olive Pharmacy is united to get you on the team and in the game as an important member of emerging healthcare teams. We want to assure you have the opportunity to shape team-based care. No matter what your political leanings may be, having pharmacists on the team has gained strong bipartisan support. To support this cause, APHA is investing millions of dollars in advocacy on your behalf. We lead a large coalition of over 40 national organizations united in the cause to secure provider status under Medicare for pharmacists. Our profession's unity was built around an equation that led to a single ask of Congress, and that's no small feat getting all of pharmacy together, but we did it together as a group. No one organization can claim that they did it by themselves. We did this together. The variables in that single ask were debated actively over 3 years before a solution was agreed upon by virtually all national and state organizations. We answered the 3 variables: which pharmacists, which patients, and which services. Knowing the equation helped us solve it. We reached consensus in November 2013, a seminal moment for our pharmacy profession. We immediately pulled together the largest and strongest coalition of pharmacy organizations in history. 2 months later, we had a bill in Congress with the consensus equation asking that all pharmacists be recognized in the Social Security Act as able to provide medically underserved Medicare beneficiaries covered services within our state scope of practice. We answered the equation: which pharmacists, which patients, and which services. Despite your new job, new home, debt, and perhaps a new family, we need you connected and involved if we're going to succeed this summer in getting pharmacists fully recognized providers of care. As advocates, you're part of something greater than your next job. To be effective, you'll need your own elevator speech, and that takes focus. It took me 6 years to get my 12 words together. Do you remember them? We promote consumer access and coverage for pharmacists' quality patient care services. Every word is essential. Get me started, I can take 5 minutes or 5 hours and tell you all about it. But the point is, I've got a framework to tell my story. And these 12 words frame my conversations in support of getting you on the team. What are your 12 words? Develop an anecdote of how you've helped a patient. Make it clear and concise as my elevator speech. Put a face to your story, the patient or family member you impacted, or a legislator's constituent. Then tell your story often. I believe we have a medication use crisis in this country. Look at what's going on with opioids. Society provides most medicines to most people, but we lack access and coverage for your services. Patients need more than the knowledge we staple to a bag. They need your coaching to gain the knowledge, skills, and practice necessary to improve lifelong outcomes. And that's your story. You can fill that need. As President Nancy Alvarez stated last month, treat the patients, not the numbers, and let them know you care. So how will you make a difference? By staying focused on quality. New measures of our value are literally being created every day. And accountability for quality, while a little threatening to us, will ultimately reap rewards in better patient care. The moment for putting pharmacists on the team is building. In March, APHA facilitated a session at the American Medical Group Association annual meeting. This is a group that runs all the large medical practices in America. The pharmacist panel showcased how pharmacists and medical practices collaborate to improve the care of patients and meet their quality measures. And there are many examples right here in Washington State of that in action. Thanks to our work and yours, our value evidence is mounting. Workforce capacity is expanding. Media attention is highly positive for the most part. Importantly for legislators, we have a role in managing costs, and interprofessional education is expanding. This latter point is huge. Your interprofessional training is a compelling argument for putting us on the team as we practice. This is a come on man moment in healthcare. Of course, come on man, we gotta be on the team. We are capable providers in an incapable system, and we have the expertise needed to help solve our medication use crisis. We have the personal relationships as trusted healthcare advisors with patients necessary to really connect for lasting change. Opportunities and incentives are following. Our job is to help accelerate that change. I mentioned earlier that APHA is one of the leaders of a large coalition. This coalition, focused on influencing Congress, is known as the Patient Access to Pharmacist Care Coalition. It just rolls off the tongue. You can find us at pharmacistcare.org, a little easier. The leaders of this coalition worked with sponsors to reintroduce our bill this session in the House, H.R. 592, and the Senate, S. 109, to give medically underserved Medicare beneficiaries access to your services. We made major progress in the last Congress and are driving hard to gain passage in this session. As of today, we have 36 bipartisan Senate co-sponsors, but none from Washington State. And we have 167 House co-sponsors, including at least 4 congressmen from Washington. Jeff Rochon says there might be a few more. To do your part, we need each of you at least to write 3 letters. 1 to each of your senators and 1 to your congressman. It won't take more than 5 minutes. We give you the tools. While we're investing heavily in raising awareness in Congress, you can find advocacy through APHA's Pharmacists Provide Care campaign at that website, and also on pharmacist.com. Last year, over 20,000 pharmacists sent 42,000 letters to Congress. This year, we're lagging a bit. At this most critical time, when we think we have Congress poised to move our bills, we have only 7,800 letters written, but still the most expansive outpouring of pharmacist support ever. This is a new Congress. No matter whether you wrote letters last year or not, do it again. The provider status we seek for you from Congress is a transition from the care we already provide to the greater care we can provide when consumers gain access and coverage for our services. Together with colleague organizations, we're showing the power of a unified message. Now is your flying leap moment. You can approach the rest of your career as a job, or you can decide to be a professional. Join your colleagues and show up. Being a professional means more than acquiring a body of knowledge. It means sharing commitment, being willing to self-regulate, and living a code of ethics. As professionals, we have rights, but we also have that contract you heard about earlier with society, that you heard about in your white coat ceremony, based on trust and a willingness to put patients first. This requires each of you to commit some of your time, talent, and treasure to stay connected and to continue to build your pharmacy family. Learn to say yes to volunteerism and opportunities. From my experience, whatever you invest will pay off. Please don't fade into obscurity. Show up, get connected, be persistent, stay engaged, and serve with gratitude. If you remember anything about today, remember that. Showing up means staying informed about your profession, and that means continuing to support this university throughout your career. Maintain your memberships in your local, state, practice setting, and professional associations, plural, and tell your story. You won't remember everything I said today, but you will remember how you felt right now. I hope you remember feeling committed to showing up and to staying connected. Today, I'm proud to call you fellow pharmacists. Don't cry because it's over. Smile because it happened. Thank you in advance for what you'll do for America's healthcare. And as my first dean challenged us, you're now entering a profession where you'll never have to worry about making a living. So worry about making a difference. Thank you.